Salutations. Welcome to the blog. It's Jess Mahogany, and today I am bringing you an interview that I completed with MJ, Michael J. Tona, Spook. You may know him as one or all of the above. And we had a good old candid grassroots discussion on the resistance that people of color face in today's society. And I did get his thoughts and opinions on what we could do collectively to change that narrative. If you are interested in this, which I'm telling you is a good listen, then go ahead and stick around. By all means, leave your comments. We're welcome to your feedback. Yeah, without further ado, let's get into this video.
Jess Mahogany coming to you today. I got Spook, MJ Spook, Michael J. Tona. Today, as I was stating, we were going to talk about the resistance. What does it mean to you? What do you think that we need to do to change it as not just black people, but people of color? Does any other race have a role in it? You know, what needs to happen? What's going wrong? What's still going on? Because I feel like we've made some progress. And in so many ways we have. But with that progress, I think comes the decline of people of color, but the black race specifically. What do you think about that?
I mean, I pretty much agree. It's kind of like you say, as we pretty much think we've gotten somewhere, and not to knock the strides that, you know, a lot of great blacks have made to help us. But as we make that merger and togetherness and to come together with other races, we tend to lose us. We tend to lose ourselves. So I feel like we have to stay a unit. We have to stay tight. It's okay to, I want to say include, because you don't want to feel like you're excluding anyone, but it's kind of like saying you got to take care of home first. You know what I mean? So it's like we haven't really did that. We've moved on to everything else, and we found legitimate reasons to make that a priority, to where we still haven't found a legitimate reason to make, you know, our cohesiveness together as a black people or as colored people a priority before we get into all the other things that we think would make all of us work together, because it's not going to really work like that, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I think we should all just try to, like, they got their shit straight first, then they include it. You know what I mean? So it's like, once they include it, then they ask you your opinion on certain things, and then now that's up for vote. That's up for debate. That's up, but it's already certain things in line that they're going to just run the way they want to run it. So, I mean, we got to kind of get ourselves to that point, too.
Right. I agree with that. Like, I feel like a lot of us are so hell-bent on being included that we don't even realize how much our inclusion further separates us. You know, I came across this post one day with this girl, and I think I told you about it. This girl was like, don't forget the white man. You know, I'm still going to write about that. But it was like, ain't nobody trying to forget the white man. But at the same time, you forgot yourself. Like you said, we've lost us. We've lost us. So many people, we already didn't know where we were coming from. They're already doing so much to erase our history, you know, and at the same time, we still got a whole bunch of us running around here talking about something, remember them. But we can't even come together. You know, we have a lot of other groups. We have a lot of other nationalities that come together and do things. I went to this Thai restaurant yesterday, and the actual Thai restaurant was short-staffed. So, you know what they did? They said, we're not closing. Go down to our, you know, little sister restaurant over here and get served. And they helping each other out. You know, they serving each other.
Right.
I don't really see that with us.
Right. Well, I think with that is we have to focus on giving life to shit. And what I mean by that is like you say, I see posts and shit all the time. So it's like you wake up and we start our day. For most of us, a lot of people are, you know, on social media. And it's like, you know, social media is almost like a Pandora box / playground / whatever. It's for whatever. So when you wake up or you do whatever and you start scrolling and you see something that you don't like, or you see something negative, you scroll. You see something negative, you see a fight, you see somebody, you know, posting about this, you posting about that, and it's all this negative shit. And it's like, you forget that you've scrolled past a lot of positive shit, and now you've given life negative shit. It's like you start to speak on that, or you start to it's almost like, okay, for example, if you see something funny, you know, you read the comments because people make it funnier or people tell you experiences. But then you also read comments of the negativity and the pessimism. And that's okay. But what is almost, like I say, giving life to it is you'll see all the comments of the rhetoric of the people going back and forth. And it's like, that's when we lose track of the point of anything. Like, you're not going to really change anybody's mind on social media. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not really going to happen. Like, you're not going to convict anybody. Like, two people are never going to come to, an agreement after they've been typing in because they feel the way they feel. But what we can do is just not give that negativity life. Like, speak on the things that we do see. Speak on the people that we do see doing big things. Speak on the people that aren't posting fights and aren't posting negativity and all that stuff. Like, that's a start. So it's like you said, like the Thai restaurant. They sent you down to another restaurant. They tell you to come back later. They tell you, oh, we're sorry, and still try to serve you and have you disgruntled and everything else. Hey, we just send you down there to somebody else, and it's going to come back and forth either way it go. Hey, we probably all shop together. We probably all know each other. Either way it go. We have that. We just don't give that enough life. We just keep speaking that negativity upon our own people, you know, and perpetuating the idea that we don't have unity. You know what I'm saying? And that we don't have togetherness. But we do, even if it's at a small level. So what? Like, look, like, psychologically, we're not supposed to have it on any level anyway because of how we've been brought up in this system. So every stride we make is a big stride. One mom and pop store is almost as big as a grocery store. You know what I'm saying? Because of the simple fact it's not designed for us to have it, and we know these things. You know what I mean? Like, we're educated enough to understand fraud. We've educated enough to understand bribery and what word am I looking for? Whatever the case may be, it's pretty much when it's like you're pretty much forced to do something, but you're thinking that it's in the best interest of you, but there's really no other choice. You know what I mean?
Right.
You just got to with that. So you find a good reason to be like, well, hey, this is what it is. So it's like we can do a lot better. We have a lot of people that's doing positive things. We just have to start giving that life and ignoring the negativity. Like, there's a lot of shit I see on Facebook that I don't like. I just keep going. Like I don't type, oh, they should be ashamed of themselves and this, that, and the third, and oh, here goes some more stupid people fighting, and oh, these are the women that we are supposed to think are queens, and it's like, just don't even give it no life. And then when you pass by something positive, give that life. You know what I mean? Like, if we want to move on in society, it's like, it's only like, even if we were all as unified as we think we want to be, we would still have the have-nots in that society too.
Exactly.
So it's like, it's going to be all peaches and cream just because we get a country full of black folks. So we need the ones that already understand anyway. That'll make it a lot more easier to coexist.
Right. The yin and the yang. It's going to be some good. It's going to be some bad. That's always going to be. It don't matter who's taking over. It really doesn't matter. And I definitely agree with you 100%. We out here doing the thing. I mean, clearly, that's why we on this call today. Clearly, there are people doing it. I think a lot of people focus on the scale at which they do it and not realizing all of the resistance. That's what we're talking about. Not realizing how much resistance we have and how we still are able to overcome despite that, how we still push through despite that. But if we could be doing better and if we could be doing it on a larger scale, you made a comment. What role are we playing for the state that we're in? Are we going to stay in it or change it? That's what you said at first. I don't even know if I got that on the recording, but you made that statement. So to you, who is responsible for what? To stay in it or change it? Because I think you said that goes for anybody, no matter what race you are.
Right. And that goes with trying to have 360 degrees of knowledge. And that goes with the quote unquote everybody being woke. It's our responsibility to know where we're at, what's going on, you know, the who, what, where, where's, and why. It's our responsibility to know that. But it's not our responsibility to take blame for the lack of knowledge of not knowing the psychological effect that has been placed upon us. So it's like, we can't be saying like stupid shit like black people are always late, or black people can't do this, or boy, you know how black people is. that's a psychological effect that we don't even know we have. Like, we think it's true, but it's really not true. And the only truth that has to it is deeper than what we think it is. Like, we're always late for a reason. Probably because we didn't have cars, probably because, you know what I'm saying, or probably because we overworking, or probably because we doing something. Like, a lot of us aren't late just because we slow or whatever. And on top of that, a lot of us are on time. Like, most of us are the best at we do. Like, we're the ones that show up on time or do overtime and do all that other things.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
You know? So it's like we kind of get it when we kind of lump us in, but it's like psychologically we don't know why black people are this and quote unquote the other people are this. Like, we don't understand why we have that stigma about us. We just continuously say it and we never just take a deeper look into it. So it's our responsibility to figure out, well, okay, if it's that and if it's that and if it's that, then why is it that? Now, once you dig deeper into it, like I said about the 360 degrees of knowledge, it's like you can't just read one book. You have to read this book, and you have to read that book, and you have to read this book, and read that book. So back to what I was saying about being woke, it's like once we read a book, now we're enlightened, and now everybody else is still asleep. It's like, no, you have to keep going. You have to keep going, and you have to keep going. So it's like, yes, we can tell our people and advise our people that it's a lot we can do to do better, and it's a lot we can do to eat better, it's a lot we can do to live better, but we can't condemn them because they're not on that path yet. You know what I mean? So it's our responsibility to seek out more knowledge and to seek out, you know what I'm saying, like, why we're in the conditions that we're in. Like, are we really doing this to ourselves? Like, or let's just say we were all on board. You know what I'm saying? And we were doing right. What type of problems would we run into then? Because we didn't always live in ghettos. We didn't always live in slums. Like, we came from where? How did we get to the ghettos? How did the ghettos become slums? You know what I mean? So we have to recognize these things too and can't just say, oh, well, we got to do better than being from the ghetto, or we can't be acting ratchet, or you can't be doing this. Like, okay, I understand that, but it's still a psychological effect. Like, you do know it's people that are born in the projects, right, from a mama at 16, 17. The mama actually stays in that project for 16, 17 more years till that child is 16, 17 and has a child. Like, that actually happens. You know what I mean? And if we can believe in bullying and we can believe in all these other, you know, diagnosis or whatever, then you have to believe that has an effect on us and who we are and how we go about ourselves in society, how we carry ourselves in society. Excuse me.
Absolutely. It has a tremendous effect, and that's what kills me. It's like, in my opinion, I feel like most of us know. We just don't know how or what to really do about it. We don't really know how to have those conversations. We shun people away. You know, we know the effects of, you know, being in cages, so to speak. You know, we test this out on animals, and they tested it out on humans, and they tested it out, you know, especially with people of color. So we absolutely know that the mental health implications, but then we want to act as if it doesn't matter. You know, we throw out mental health for a lot of issues that come up with other races, but with black people who I think are, you know, greatly affected, we act like it's not a symptom of our environment sometimes, and as if we don't have a responsibility to do something about it. So we kind of ignore it. We kind of say, you know, you just need to do better. Instead of saying, and I know I get it. So many people say, well, I don't want to give them excuses. It's not an excuse because so many people make it out, you know. So many people make it out, and so many people are able to just do better. You need to do better when you know better, etc. Right? But it really kind of runs deeper than that.
Right. Well, see, it's like this, like you said, you have to understand the science of the things that you're learning. So you have to understand the science of psychology, how it works. And why would somebody do the things that they're doing to someone or for someone, and what would come about it? Like they say, repetition is the father of learning. Like, once you do once you do something a certain way so many times, it becomes learned behavior. So, but like you say, the effects and the things that are brushed off when it comes to us, it makes you question, is it real, or are the other people making excuses? For example, you take a person who is a teen who goes to high school to have a pretty much ideal life, maybe not the best, but definitely not the worst. And then they join the army, right? And they go to the army for a couple of years, and they may have to go to war, go to Iraq, or go to whatever. They see a lot of bad things and whatever the case may be, and they fuck them up. You know what I mean? When they come back to the States and they come back to this side of the world, they can't function, right? Because they just ain't used to seeing that for the little bit amount of time that they was in the military, right? So what do you think kids that grow up in these dire situations every day, are they supposed to be seeing that? Are they supposed to be living like that? Like, are they supposed to watch people beat on each other, like the things we see? Like, are we supposed to see that? Like, is that supposed to be natural when young ladies be fighting in front of their kids? Like, kids are supposed to see that. So then when they go to school and they see their mama fighting and their homegirl, their mama homegirl, and their auntie jumping in, now you got 8-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 10-year-olds, when they fighting, now they jumping in. And now they doing things. They perpetuating the things that they seeing, but you telling us that we supposed to be able to function in this society, that, oh, it shouldn't be that. You know what I mean? Oh, nah, they just need this or they just need that or whatever the case may be. It ain't never that. But then when these white folks and they go out here and they shoot up everything and they kill everybody, then now you can go. Now we can have the discussion about mental health. About, psychology and all that, but we can't have a discussion about bullying with black folks because we get bullied every day on the job. We get bullied by the police. We get bullied by the banks. You get bullied by pretty much everybody that know you are in need. So it's like when you come into this game and you already dealt the hand that you dealt, people are going to deal with you a certain type of way. Now, we've overcome a lot to make people have to step their game up and respect you, but you're going to get dealt with like that first. Like, I was listening to, you probably don't know him, but his name Rob Parker. And he got a little change, he got a little money, you know what I'm saying? He's an ESPN analyst, but in regular everyday society, he's just a regular nigga. Even if you do got a little change, regular nigga, I don't know you as an ESPN analyst. So he goes to a one time, and he in the VIP line. And I can just already imagine how the shit happened. He like the third or fourth person in the line. Instead of the lady focusing on the person she's supposed to be attending to, she looked all over the rack and tell him, sir, you're not in the right line. You got to go get in the other line. But she don't even know who he is. You know what I mean? So this is the type of thing that I'm talking about. Like, we have to deal with that at first. Now, everything else we do and say after that is going to be either excuses to the bullshit, you know what I'm saying, or understanding of the psychology that we done been through. You know what I mean? Like, it don't matter how educated we are. It don't matter what you do in life. You can get all the degrees that they tell you're supposed to be. Off ripper, the way somebody's going to perceive you could either mean life or death.